David Toppy. This is really an honor for me to be able to be here with you today to speak at your baccalaureate service. It's real special to be here. And it's so special I decided to bring my absolute very favorite visual aid. You know why this is such a good visual aid is that when I use it, or when I bring it, people really pay attention when I'm talking. I don't know how that works, but people just pay more attention and they seem to stay awake and stay alert a little bit better. And so sometimes even when I'm not referring to this visual aid, I'll still bring it with me just for that very purpose. But I have a reason for bringing it, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a little bit. I'll be honest with you, when I was asked to speak at this baccalaureate, I had to refresh my mind on what a baccalaureate service really is. And so I went to the authority on that, which is Wikipedia, right? The idea, the concept of a baccalaureate service can be traced all the way back to the University of Oxford, all the way back to 1432. So it goes back a ways. It says a baccalaureate service is a celebration which honors a graduating senior class from a college or from a high school. It talks about when it's supposed to be held, which is right about now. It talks about speakers, who they might be, and how they're selected, which, again, it's an honor that I've been asked to speak to you today. It talks about what the program might consist of, music selections. But the thing that I thought was most interesting that I saw on this Wikipedia definition of a baccalaureate service was this. Baccalaureate addresses can range in length from under a half an hour to as long as 4 hours. Are you comfortable? You know, because I hope to be invited back someday, I'm not going to get close to 4 hours. But this is special for me to be here, and it's a special day, and you're in a special time of your life. And so as I began contemplating a theme for this message, you are special just came to mind. It's a special day, you're at a special time in your life, and so I was formulating that thought, and then I made a mistake of going on YouTube, and I saw a commencement address given in 2012 by a guy by the name of David McCullough Jr. I don't know if y'all have seen this address on YouTube or not, but his whole theme was, you are not special. You're not special. And he's even written a book now with that title. Well, there goes my idea then. I thought you were special. He's saying you're not special. But as I went ahead and listened to his entire commencement address, what he was referring to was in the sense of being entitled to things being given to you. You're not special. In the sense of being indispensable, irreplaceable. You're not special. And I understand that. As a matter of fact, when we were raising our 3 kids, anytime we passed by a cemetery, I would use that as one of those teachable moments, and I would point out to our kids, cemeteries are filled with people who thought they were indispensable, who thought they were irreplaceable. So from that vantage point, I understand what he's talking about when he says you're not special. So I'm not talking about a cocky, the world revolves around me kind of an attitude. But what I am talking about when I say you're special is a very confident, I bring something unique to the table approach. Before I ever entered into full-time ministry, I was in the mortgage business, and part of my responsibilities as a loan officer was to go into real estate offices and try to solicit their business, get their business, and I would talk to them about what we had to offer. And yet, if you know anything about financial institutions at all, whether it's credit unions or banks or mortgage companies, you know that we They all have pretty much the same thing to offer. Interest rates are all pretty much the same. The qualifying applications are all pretty much the same. The income to debt ratios that are necessary to get the loan are all pretty much the same. The amount of time to process loans are all pretty much the same. The fees involved, origination fees, appraisal fees, all pretty much the same. And so anytime the question would come up then, what is it that your company can do for me that any other company couldn't do? The only answer I had to that was me, my services, what I can bring to the table, what I have to offer. No one's going to work any harder for you than me. No one's going to try to get this loan approved more than me. No one's going to communicate with you more clearly and more often than me. And so it's a matter of selling yourself. It's a matter of understanding how unique you are, how you bring something to the table that no one else can bring. Even your fingerprints are proof that you're unique. There's no one just exactly like you. Your DNA is evidence of the fact that you're special. You can look around here today. It's like a snowflake. There's no two alike. You look around here today. There's no one here exactly like you. You bring something very unique to the table. You're special. You're precious. Your time is precious. God gives to you a very special gift every day of your life. It's called today. As a matter of fact, someone said the reason why it's such a special gift is why they call it the present. The present is special to you. And how you use your time is special to you. I want to share one thing with you that you may also have heard. This is called the Magic Bank Account. I want you to imagine this day that you have won a prize in a contest. And in this prize, each morning of your life, your bank is going to deposit $86,400 into your account for your personal use. That's a pretty good prize, isn't it? But there's a catch. There's always a catch, right? Everything you don't spend each day is taken away from you. There's no carryovers. And you cannot invest it. You can't put it into any other kind of a savings account. You have to spend it. Each morning, the bank will deposit another $86,400 into your account. The other catch is the bank can end this game anytime it desires to, without warning, without notice. Game's just over. What would you do? How would you spend that $86,400? You know it's really not a game at all. It's real. But we're not talking about dollars, are we? We're talking about your time. Every day of your life, you're given 86,400 seconds. And you can't carry them over. Once that day is spent, once that 24-hour day is spent, it's gone forever. And this can end without warning, without notice. Suddenly, game is over. How you spending that 86,400 seconds? There's a musical that came out some time ago called Rent. And in that musical, there's that song, 525,600 minutes. Y'all familiar with that song? Can you come and sing that song? 525,600 minutes make up a year. How do you spend that? How are you spending the time that's so precious to you? You're special. Time is precious. And you're on your way. Whatever this next chapter of your life, like Hudson was praying about, whatever the next chapter of your life is going to bring, whether it's a career or whether it's a college, whatever it is, you're on your way. Have you ever noticed how our life is filled with destination points? It's just filled with a bunch of destination points. The baccalaureate service was a destination point this morning when you got up. After you leave here, you've got another destination point that you're going to be going to. Your life is just filled with one destination point after another. I want to encourage you this afternoon, don't miss out on the in-between places as you're going from one destination to another. Don't miss out on those in-between places. Another way of saying that is enjoy your journey, right? Enjoy the journey. We used to say, stop and smell the roses along the way. Don't miss out on some of those very special in-between places. The Bible speaks of a lot of different pilgrimages that people would go on, or wilderness wanderings. And it's in those in-between places that many times you have the greatest encounters with God. If you've studied about the Apostle Paul's life at all, you know when he was Saul, he was on his way to Damascus, right? There's a destination point. He was on his way to Damascus. But something happened on the way that would change his life forever. And so as your life is going to continue to be filled with all of these destination points, don't miss out on those in-between places. Keep your heart open to God during those in-between places, because some incredibly special things can happen to you on your road and on your way. So you're special. Your time is precious. Take advantage of some of those in-between places in your life and on your journey. Stop and smell the roses. Enjoy that journey. And then that brings me to my favorite visual aid. Y'all know what this is? I wrote it down in case I would forget. But this is not just a bat. It's not just a Louisville Slugger. This is a reminder to me to be a thermostat. Be a thermostat. Do you know the difference between a thermometer and a thermostat? Let's come up with signals. If I ask a question and the answer is yes, this will be the signal. If the answer is no, that'll be the signal. So let's do it again. Do you know what a thermostat and a thermometer? You know the difference between a thermostat and a thermometer? Sure you do. Sure you do. Thank you. You got that down good. A thermometer is simply something that reflects the atmosphere around it. Right? That's all it does. It takes in information and it simply reflects. It reads the atmosphere and it reflects what the atmosphere is. That's what a thermometer does. That's not what a thermostat does. A thermostat dictates to the atmosphere, right? A thermostat determines the atmosphere around it. If you live the life of a thermometer, you're in for a rough ride, guys. You know that. You're in for a bunch of highs and a whole bunch of lows because it's all determined by what's going on around you. But when you live the life of a thermostat, you draw from something within you that determines what the atmosphere is around you. I mentioned the Apostle Paul. He is the greatest example that I know of a thermostat living guy.